Well, as a NASCAR fan who's been to Texas Motor Speedway every single year since 2018, I'm scared and disappointed and frustrated and let's just go ahead and get ready for the video. I just can't stand it anymore. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again. Welcome back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2022 Texas All-Star Race from the Texas Motor Speedway. And yeah, this was a disappointment in my opinion because last year, if you guys remember, the Texas All-Star Race, people weren't really looking for it, but it turns out it was better than expected. And then I kind of had high hopes coming into this one, but it didn't really start off that well and didn't end well either, so that was another major failure. So this is definitely going to put Texas Motor Speedway at risk, but we'll talk about all that later. So right now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our All-Star Open drivers. Then we're going to come back and talk about the top 10 finishers of the All-Star race, and we're going to rate the race, look at the biggest story of the race. We're also going to be talking about the drivers of the day, and then end it off from there. So let's go ahead and dive on into this video. So here we have the 4 drivers from the All-Star Open that made their way into the All-Star race. Starting off with All-Star Open, Reddick had to start from the rear, and Stenhouse basically just took it from there and won Stage 1, pushing him into his 4th All-Star race overall. Next up in Stage 2, Castle took a big wreck during Stage 2, and then Buescher won Stage 2 of the Open, so Buescher was able to push his way into his 2nd All-Star race. Then Reddick spun and wrecked in the final stage of the All-Star Open. He collected Harrison Burton, and then overall Daniel Suarez won the All-Star Open. Heck, he had a fast car all day and was able to push himself into his 3rd All-Star race, and Eric Jones won the fan vote, pushing him to his 3rd All-Star race overall. And I believe Tyler Reddick won the fan vote, but since he racked out and went to Eric Jones, so it's kind of like how it was in 2020 where Bubba Wallace won the All-Star fan vote, but it went to Clint Boyer because Bubba Wallace got racked out by Michael McDowell. So those were the drivers from the All-Star Open who pushed their way into the All-Star race. Now let's review the All-Star race drivers. So winning the All-Star race, finishing in first, was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, he wasn't really that much showing early to start off the race. You mostly had drivers like Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson really dominating the day, also with Ross Chastain. But after that big wreck that happened during Stage 2, it was him and Cindric going at it for the Stage 2 victory. Cindric got it over him, but Blaney was not happy with Cindric. Like, literally, I thought it was like a good job tap from Blaney to the back of Cindric after that stage, but it was just a show of displeasure. You know, these two have a history going back to the Daytona 500 and stuff, so just got to keep an eye on those two. But ultimately Blaney won Stage 3, meaning he started technically 2nd for the All-Star, or for the final 50 laps, and then Blaney just carried it on from there, and he just couldn't he just could not be beat and stuff. Even with the pit road situation, Hamlin had to get in clean air, but Blaney already had clean air and it was just taken off. But also we had that controversy where Blaney was coming to the checker flag, but apparently the caution lights came out before he took the start-finish line, ultimately saying that we had to go into NASCAR overtime. In my honest opinion, I thought that was complete bullcrap. Blaney should have won the race and stuff, but he did, and it was very nerve-wracking because he had that Ninja wet issue where he couldn't put it back on himself because he thought he won the race. He thought the race was over and stuff, so he couldn't help that. So NASCAR should have just let him go down pit road, let the pit crew fix that, and then let him go. But they never did that. But Blaney was able to stabilize it for then and was able to just go back and win the race. It was sort of like that Truck Series season opener at Daytona with the Zane Smith incident where NASCAR is just on their game with that. So just bad NASCAR officiating and stuff, just controversy upon controversy. And this is an exhibition race. Like, what the hell? Anyway, Ryan Blaney, he won the All-Star race. So that's the 2nd All-Star win for Team Penske, their first since Logano back in 2016. So really good for Team Penske overall. What a good day. It wasn't really their day in IndyCar and stuff. Their drivers did not qualify for the top 12 for the Indy 500, but a good day for them in this somewhat all-star race. So good job for Blaney and the 12 team. Finishing in second was Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, just like Ryan Blaney, wasn't one of the fastest drivers all day, but he still had a pretty decent median car out there and stuff, and he was just trying to make his way through the field. And after that incident with his teammate and a couple other Chevrolet drivers, Hamlin had the door wide open, and he was the best Toyota running out there. Well, technically, no, it was Christopher Bell until Bell had that tire go down right at the end of stage 2. But still, Hamlin had a really good race. He had that pit stop where I thought he was going to hunt down Blaney, but he couldn't because Blaney already had clean air. He already had a big gap over Hamlin. So it does suck for Denny Hamlin, and I really thought, was Hamlin going to actually win the All-Star race after that? Somewhat caution came out at the end of it, but no, Hamlin just couldn't get around him. He almost had him, but just did not. So it was a decent day for Denny Hamlin and the 11 team. Where do we see this momentum in the regular season races? Like, what the heck? Come on, Hamlin. Put this stuff that you have right now in this All-Star race into the regular season, and you'll be fine. But it is what it is. But still a decent day for the 11 team. Finishing in third was Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric had a pretty decent somewhat car out there today. I didn't think he was one of the best out there, but he started 12th in this race, then ends up finishing third. He won stage 2, so he started first in the final stage, the final 50 laps of the race. He had a pretty decent, strong car. Out of the Team Penske cars, he was like second best and stuff. He had nothing for Ryan Blaney. Heck, I bet he let Blaney go because he knew Blaney wasn't already happy with him after the end of stage 2. But Cindric had a pretty decent car, so not bad for Austin Cindric in his first All-Star race and stuff, getting a nice solid third place finish. But we'll see how it carries on from here, because I'm pretty sure he's in next season's All-Star race, because he won the Daytona 500 this year. But we'll see. But anyway, a decent race overall for Austin Cindric and the 2 team. And rounding out the top 5 and 5th is Daniel Suarez. I just got to give it to Daniel Suarez, guys. He started 23rd in this race and ends up finishing in 5th. What a race for Daniel Suarez. He was, I wouldn't say he was the best Chevrolet, but he had one of the best Chevys out there today. Like, after that whole big wreck incident, he definitely had the fastest Chevy out there, because he won the All-Star Open, and he was just hanging in there. He was going at it with Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. He was fast. I thought he would be the first Open driver to win the All-Star race since, Michael Waltrip? I'm not sure. I forgot who the last Open winner who won the All-Star race, but still, it would have been great for Daniel Suarez. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough for him. Blaney was just too fast. Hamlin had a good pit stop. Daniel Suarez didn't even take a pit stop, but he still had a really fast car. Like, where is the speed? Like, not only have I said this for Hamlin, but now for Suarez, where is this speed you guys get at an exhibition race, but we don't see this in the regular season? Come on. So Suarez, if they're gonna bring this same exact car for Charlotte, I promise you they'll run well, because Texas and Charlotte, they're like sister tracks. It's just that Charlotte's a bit like smaller and stuff than Texas, but you know what I mean. So overall, a really decent day for the 99 team. Finishing in 4th was Joey Logano. Joey Logano, he also had a pretty decent day overall, in my opinion. I mean, he, like I said, with Blaney and Hamlin, they had pretty fast cars, but they kind of fell back because Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson and Chastain, those were the fastest. Once those guys were taken out, they started to step up and stuff. So Joey Logano still had a really good day, in my opinion. Like I said, he was like the 3rd best Team Penske driver and stuff. So I thought it was still a really good day for Team Penske overall. I mean, like, Will Power qualified top 12 for the Indy 500 and stuff. So it wasn't really the best day for them qualifying wise for Indy, but good day overall for the All-Star race, this All-Star race. And then also Joe Logano's pit crew won the $100,000. So congrats to them. They definitely are one of the fastest ones out on the track week in and week out. So really decent race overall for Joey Logano. He wasn't really a driver I thought who could win the race, but he still had a pretty decent run after he started in, I believe, in 9th and finished 4th. So really good day overall for Logano. Finishing in 6th was my boy Alex Bowman. Weekend didn't really start off that well. Qualifying, they looked to have been high, but then it just kind of plummeted. They were the slowest, and so Bowman wasn't happy and stuff. They had to start at the rear for some adjustments, and they weren't really running the best and stuff, but they got better throughout the race and ends up getting a 6th place finish. So nice recovery for the 48. Just hope we don't see anything like this in the regular season, because that could definitely affect them playoff-wise. But so far, a comeback from what, 24th to 6th place, so decent overall for the 48. Finishing 7th was AJ Allmendinger. What an effort by AJ Allmendinger in qualifying. He was able to start 10th in this race, ends up getting a 7th place finish. He had a really solid car, definitely a car that could finish like top 10, top 15 and stuff. Wasn't the best, but still had a pretty decent running Kaulig car and stuff. So good effort by him and the 16 team to put it all out there for the All-Star race and stuff. So hopefully we can see some speed out of the Kaulig 16 part-time car, or part driver car for the rest of the season, or going into Charlotte next week. But still, nice little run for the 16 team. Finishing in 8th was Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher won stage 2 of the open race and was running pretty well. Started 22nd in the All-Star race and gets an 8th place finish. So decent race overall for the 17 team. They were just pretty consistent. They definitely had probably a top 10, top 15 car. I thought they finished like in the top 15, but hey, top 10's a top 10 and stuff, even for an exhibition race. So really decent one for Chris Buescher overall in his second All-Star race. Finishing in 9th was Brad Kay. Nothing really much to say about Brad Kay. Started 18th, finished 9th today. He had a decent car, stayed out of trouble, kept it clean for once throughout the season and stuff, but still had a clean race and stuff. So decent race overall for the 16. And rounding out the top 10 and 10th is C. Bell, Christopher Bell. Started 14th in this race. It looked like Bell would be the fastest or just the best Toyota after Kyle Busch was taken out, but no. After the whole pit crew challenge and all that stuff at the end of stage 3, Bell was trying to hunt down Ryan Blaney. He had a tire down and he hit the wall and stuff, so it was a bit of an upset for him. So he had to try to come back from that in the last 50 laps and ended up getting a top 10 finish. So overall, pretty decent finish, pretty decent comeback for the 20 team Christopher Bell. And now let's rate this race. Oh man, this was definitely not better than the All-Star race last year. It just pains to see something like this because I like Texas Motor Speedway, and just seeing something like a piss poor performance like that, it's just upsetting and stuff. So I already know the All-Star races are going to be at Texas Motor Speedway next year. Heck, I wish that they would just move the All-Star race like to different tracks every single year and stuff, and they should do that to the Championship 4 as well. Just move it to a different venue every single year. But yeah, just upsetting. So if I had to rate this race, I thought it was mid and stuff. I didn't really think it was like the worst racing we've seen at Texas Motor Speedway. No, we've seen worse and stuff. At least we had some passes here and there. I'll admit, like, the last 50 laps was dry and stuff. We had some dry spots, but this wasn't really the worst race at Texas I've ever seen. I mean, there have been worse, trust me. But for the All-Star race, you know, I'm kind of biased because this track is like 30 minutes away from me, so I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, I didn't really thought it was that terrible. Like I said, we've seen worse and stuff, and really, out of like the history of mile-and-a-half racetracks, Texas is not the worst one. It's Kentucky, people. There's a reason why Kentucky's not on the schedule. Texas is, but then again, Chicagoland's not on the schedule, and that was probably the best mile-and-a-half racetrack we've ever had. And right now, the best one we have right now is Homestead. So I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. And even if you guys do leave a comment, I already know it's not going to be positive about the Texas. But yeah, 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's not good. So the biggest story of the race is going to be the last lap controversy we had at the end of the race. So basically, Ryan Blaney was coming just to take the checkered flag to end the race, but apparently Stenhouse got into the wall down the backstretch, and he was completely out of harm's way. He was just scraping against the wall. It looked like he wasn't going to affect anybody, but then the caution lights came on right before Blaney hit the start-finish line. The checker flag was in the hand, but they quickly switched to the yellow and stuff. Like I said before, it was just sort of just like the Truck Series season opener at Daytona, where Zane Smith was coming, and then they had the caution lights, bam, right before he crossed the start-finish line, which was pain for Zane Smith, but he overall won the race. Same thing with Ryan Blaney, but it was still controversial and stuff because the race should have been over. It was ridiculous. Terrible officiating by NASCAR. You're already adding insult to injury after just the racing and stuff. And some people even blame what Tex Spirit for what the tire issues. We've had some of these issues at Kansas last week where the tires would go like it would be the left or the right ones, and the left rear or right rear and stuff. It's just the tires and stuff. You just got to be careful with these tires. Like literally Larson and Kyle Busch, those two did not pit, and they were the two ones that had tire issues. Everyone else that had tire issues, they just basically just hit the wall and stuff. Like Christopher Bell and stuff, or no, Christopher Bell had a tire issue. I don't think he pitted. I'm not sure, but anyway, like I was saying, caution came out. Blaney already let his window net, he already unbuckled it, and so he had to try to get that thing on, because really Blaney, as a driver himself, he can't get that thing back on. Like, he literally can't. You need like the strongest, biggest guy on your pit crew to tighten that thing in so you're all good. So it was hard for Blaney, so he tried to stabilize it to where it wouldn't really fly off and stuff. So that was something stressful for him as he was trying to battle the last couple laps in overtime to hold off Cindric and Denny Hamlin for the race win. Overall, he got the race win, won the All-Star race. So that was good for Ryan Blaney, but still terrible officiating on NASCAR's part. Just adding insult to injury. That's all I have to say about that. Now time for drivers of the day. To start off, unlucky driver of the day has to go to Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch it was his race to lose. It was literally his race to lose. He was the driver to beat. He was just fast overall and stuff. I mean, even with the knockout round and stuff, I was really looking forward to that. And literally just let them run 2 laps, okay? Because 1 lap just coming back to the start-finish line isn't enough. So it wasn't really a competition. Kyle Busch was still fast, though, and stuff. But yeah, whatever. But Kyle Busch, he won the first stage. It looked like he was going to win the second one until he lost the tire. And then he was up on the high line. And in my opinion, I thought Kyle Busch should have just stayed on the high line and stuff and just wait for drivers to pass. Then he could go to the low line. But he already just cut down to the low line, thinking he could beat Chastain down over there. But then Chastain came into him and he just plowed into the back of him. Chastain was on 2 wheels. No, actually, he was like kind of airborne and stuff. He was on his side. He landed back on all 4, but then unfortunately he clipped Chase Elliott. So thankfully everyone was okay for that incident. No one was hurt, but just it also sucks for Ross Chastain because he had that dehydration issue after the truck race because it was hot that night, and then had to deal with this. So it does suck for Ross Chastain. A weekend definitely for him to forget and just move on to the All-Star, not the All-Star, it's the Coke 600 next week. But Kyle Busch, just unfortunate for him. He had the best car all night after 1 stage and a half of one, and just taken out just like that. So it does suck for the 18 team. For underdog driver of the day, I'm going to have to give it to my boy Daniel Suarez. Won the All-Star Open, and he was running really well inside the top 5, top 10 for the rest of the night. Even after that big incident crash in Stage 2, he was still hanging on, challenging against guys like Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. He was going at it and stuff. It really would have been cool if he won the race, but hey, 4th place, 5th place finish. Hopefully this is some momentum going into the regular season, or back into the regular season once we continue in the NASCAR regular season at the Coke 600. So we'll see what speed the 99 team will have there, but a strong run indeed for the 99 team of Daniel Suarez. For comeback driver of the day, I think the only reasonable driver you could give it to is Christopher Bell. Like I said, at the end of Stage 3, he had a tire go down, and he hit the wall, and he killed his chances of trying to chase down Ryan Blaney for the Stage 3 victory. He had to start at the rear. He had to get all that fixed. Had a fender issue with his right rear, so it did suck for him. But he was able to rebound from that and get a top 10 at the end of the day. So I guess top 10's a top 10 even for an exhibition race, like I said earlier. So decent comeback from the 20 team. And then for overall driver of the day, I just have to give it to Ryan Blaney and the 12 team. I mean, I know they weren't like as fast as Kyle Busch and stuff, but they were still pretty fast overall. I mean, even with the whole eliminator system knockout round in Saturday's practice and qualifying, Blaney was still really known as having a fast Ford and stuff, and he did have the fastest Ford. So Blaney still had a fast car. He was up there running up front. He was better than his teammates. He was kind of better than Hamlin on old tires. I'm not sure about fresh tires, but Blaney still had a fast car and stuff, so can't really discredit him by not saying like, oh, he didn't earn it. He did kind of earn to get the All-Star race win. But that will do it for today's video. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys want to check out my gaming channel, NASCAR Gaming 48, link will be down in the description below. Should be uploading a video pretty soon. I'm not sure if I can actually upload a video tomorrow, probably starting Wednesday, because I'm having stuff pushed back on the gaming channel as of right now. Some things going on behind the scenes, so should be getting back to that channel here in a couple days. I'm not sure about tomorrow, but if I can do it tomorrow, I'll try my best, but it most likely will not happen. If you want to check out my, but still make sure you subscribe to the gaming channel so you don't miss any content from there coming pretty soon. If you want to check out my Instagram, link will also be down in the description below. And yeah, subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate the subscribers, the amount of views the last race review, guys. So let's keep the sub count going, and then also the view count going. So really appreciate you guys. Still bummed out by Texas. I mean, my first Texas race was back in 2016. The last race before Texas was repaved or reconfigured. Texas shouldn't have been reconfigured. It should have just been repaved, like how I said about Atlanta. But at this point, if the racing at Texas isn't gonna be saved and stuff, then I guess you're just gonna have to get the package that Atlanta has and put it on Texas. I mean, that's just how it is if fans aren't going to tune in to Texas Motor Speedway. So it's just disappointing because Texas is like literally the backyard track right next to me and stuff, and I don't really like feel like going to Austin. Well, I mean, going to Austin like every year is cool and stuff, but still Texas Motor Speedway is just right there. It sucks and it pains to me and stuff, but it is what it is, so we'll see what happens and stuff. But I already know a lot of people aren't going to be happy about this one, but we'll see what the Texas future is for now, because right now they still have a playoff race date that could be taken away pretty soon, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.